Welcome to another unboxing. This is the Swiftech MCR420-XP. So this is part of their XP series of radiators, which is their higher performance, higher fin density versus the QP quiet power series of radiators. And this is also their largest radiator to date. So out of all of the radiators Swiftech has produced, this one has the highest overall cooling capacity. So you can see this is an MCR, although I guess it'll also work for XP. Oh yeah, okay, MCR, and it'll also work for XX series radiators. Make sure the screws do not hit the water channels. This is a very good warning. You should heed it because if you go all the way through to the water channels, you will puncture your radiator and you will have no warranty whatsoever for doing that because it is your own fault. Alright, here in this little box we find the only real accessories that come with a product like this, and that is mounting screws. Wow, these are packed in here pretty good. Pretty difficult to remove. That's okay. We have unboxed things before on this channel. We will unbox things again. We will not be stymied. Alright, so here you have, these are the correct length for going through 25mm fans into the threading on the radiator itself. So you'll see here on the rad, there are threaded holes just like that. So you go through the fan into that, and you see there's quite a gap in between the thread and the fins themselves. Just make sure you don't go all the way through into that. You should actually have enough extra thread left over on a screw like this to even do a fan grill, but it'll be tight. We've also got a couple here for mounting the radiator directly to the case if you do not have a fan in between. So those are the mounting options that are included. Next, we've got the radiator itself. So this is a very high fin density radiator. So what does fin density mean? Basically, radiators all work the same basic way. You've got fittings up at the top. Okay, so here you can see we've got G1/4 threaded holes, okay? And then you've got a tank, two tanks up at the top, just like this. Usually there's a little bit of a spillover between the two tanks. That decreases the overall restriction of the radiator without dramatically affecting the performance. So what happens is, it goes in this tank. It goes down the tubes that are attached to this tank, so these tubes right here, all the way down to the bottom, where there is another tank. You can see this tank is quite small, but it is attached. This tank is attached to all of the tubes. So it goes down these tubes, into the reservoir tank at the bottom, up these tubes, and then out the other G1/4 fitting. So, what determines the cooling performance of a radiator? Basically, surface area. Water cooling is all about taking something like this and cooling your CPU with it, which is something that you cannot realistically do with an air cooling heatsink because you can't fit this directly on your CPU. So you've got a ton of surface area. You've also got water, which is an extremely efficient way to move heat around. So you move the heat away from your CPU, which has a CPU block on it, you move it into the radiator, where the idea is you have this enormous surface area. So how does the surface area happen when all you've got is these little tubes? Well, these tubes are soldered to aluminum fins. So when I say high fin density, what I mean is, you see how these fins are folded on themselves? They're just folded, 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 folded all the way down the length of the radiator. Well, a low fin density radiator will have fewer folds, so like a bigger S shape, whereas a high density radiator, or FPI, fins per inch, high FPI rated radiator will have many little folds. There's disadvantages and advantages to each. This one has more surface area, which means more cooling capacity than a QP series radiator, which has bigger S shapes. However, if you're going to use low RPM quiet fans, you're actually better off with low fin density. So, this radiator is for high CFM, high static pressure fans, which can blow a bunch of air through it regardless of the restriction that it's causing by being so dense, whereas if you have low RPM fans, you're actually going to be better off to have less restriction to the airflow, less density, in order to get the most cooling potential out of it. So this particular radiator takes 4 120mm fans on one side, 4 120mm fans on the other side, although you do not have to install 8 fans on it, you can do just one. And I actually get this question a lot too. How do I install fans on a radiator? So I might as well answer it since I'm here. You can either install them blowing air down through it, you can install them flipped the other way, pulling air through the radiator from the one side and then pushing it out away from it, or you can do push-pull, which is to install 8 fans, so you blow away this way and suck in this way. Personally, my preferred way of installing fans on a radiator is to do one bank of fans, so 4 fans down the one side, pulling air through the radiator and then pushing it away from it. Why do I do this? The reason is very simple, because I am lazy. If you have fans blowing air down into the rad, so you've screwed them in, what happens is you're going to get dust buildup all along this surface, because that's where the air is pushing down onto the rad. In order to clean it, you have to either blow compressed air at it, okay, which won't even do that great of a job because there are fans in the way, or you have to unscrew all your fans, blow it off, put the fan back on. So the reason that I always install fans sucking air through the radiator and pushing it away is that then all the dust accumulates on this surface, so I can just go clean it off and I am done. So this particular radiator is available in a variety of sizes. You can get it with single 120, dual 120, triple 120, and quadruple 120. The advantages and disadvantages of each are that the smaller the size radiator you go, the better your case compatibility is going to be, and the larger size radiator you go, the better your cooling performance is going to be. So there are very few cases that can internally mount a quadruple radiator like this, but I will be installing this in the Silverstone TJ11 for my ultimate liquid-cooled machine, and I hope you guys stay tuned to my NCIXCom channel to enjoy that particular video. Here's the little Swiftech logo on the other side I didn't show you guys yet. So thank you for checking this out, and don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.